Hey guys, you're about to watch a clip from our Summer Transfer Show where we talk about Roberto Firmino and these Juventus links that just aren't going anywhere. If you want to watch the entire show or indeed listen to it in podcast form, head on over to redmenplus.com. We talk about Jurgen Klopp's comments, Tyler Morton, Sepp Vandenberg, have a little look at Chelsea, Jesse Lingard to Forest and a whole lot more. So yeah, do go and check out the full Summer Transfer Show streaming right now on redmenplus.com, and I hope you enjoy this clip from the show. The Roberto Firmino Juventus thing just isn't going away. As much as if it, to me, it more feels like something that could happen next year. I don't know, but reports in Italy, for those who haven't seen it, that Juventus are still interested in signing Bobby Firmino. He's obviously got 1 year left on his contract at time of recording. We've heard nothing about an extension. Reports in Italy saying that Juventus are keen to take him. They're in the market for a striker themselves and things like that. It would be the biggest surprises if it happened now. I just don't see it happening. But it does feel like this could be something where in 12 months' time, everyone goes, yeah, Bobby Firmino's off to Juventus, and we've all kind of accepted it. Is that the sense you're getting?
Definitely, and Juventus makes the absolute most sense with the Firmino saga because they are the kings of the free transfer, aren't they? They've built their model off basically waiting until players run out of contract, offering them a massive signing on fee and giving them massive wages, and they've sort of manipulated FFP in that way where they can do that and they can make that their kind of niche in the transfer market. They obviously did it famously with Ronaldo, they did it with Aaron Ramsey as well, and I'm sure there are countless other examples. So yeah, it does look like something whereby if Firmino does, like Mane, fancy a new challenge. He's been here, it will be 8 years next year, I think it will be, or maybe even more.
He predates Klopp. He was
a Rodgers signing,
committee signing, wasn't
he? Yeah. So if that is to happen, if he does fancy a new challenge, then for what Roberto Firmino's given to Liverpool, I certainly wouldn't begrudge him that new challenge and that potentially massive payday at Juventus that we're certainly not going to give him as he goes into his 30s. But just on Firmino, I think it's gone a little bit understated just quite how good he's been in the last 6 months. I mean, just because Sadio Mane had that massive sort of uprising from the 18 months before where he was world class for 6 months, I think Firmino's kind of gone forgotten a little bit. I think obviously when he comes on the Champions League finally has a massive impact, finding those half spaces and linking up with the rest of the players. But there were also some games at home last year where we really counted on him, and it was really there were a couple of games, I think you notice it when you're sat up right at the back of the main stand, where you just watch Firmino and you watch his movement and you don't really notice that maybe on the telly or even when you're lower down in the ground, and he was having such an impact. I think he's having quite a big impact in pre-season as well. So I personally think if you're looking at that first game against Fulham, maybe jumping ahead here, but right now, if you're asking me to put a percentage on who's starting down the middle, whether it's Firmino or Nunez, I'd give Firmino a good 70-75% chance at the moment, unless sort of Nunez comes out in the next sort of friendly and charity shield and rips the place up. But I think we're going to need him at the start of this season while Nunez really starts to learn the movements and the tactics of the team and the other players around him. So I think he's going to play a really crucial part at the start of this season, and I'd be absolutely shocked if he was to go this summer.
Yeah, this it just feels like a no-brainer for this summer, Ross. And who knows, it might just be that they do come in. I just can't see there's a value that Liverpool would sell him at now that Juventus would pay. If they came in and where there's 50 million quid for Bobby Firmino and he's got a year left, you probably think they might go, you know what, let's do it and we'll find a replacement for him. But they're not going to do that. There was talk around a £20 million bid. Liverpool would be better off having Bobby Firmino, because what are you going to get for 20 million this summer? You're just not going to have anything there. Jota's injury as well, we know that. And with Andy, I wouldn't be shocked if Bobby Firmino starts at Fulham. It wouldn't be a surprise to me at all. Depends how obviously where Darwin is at this point and other injuries and stuff. But do you see a world where this isn't Roberto Firmino's last season at Liverpool, this upcoming season? Maybe Milner's situation where he's had another year on. For him, he might want a bit more stability. Juventus again, another giant club, they're huge, going to compete in Italy and things like that. Money is a perfectly valid argument as well. So I'll be honest, I don't know the answer. If I'm asking you, do you think this is the last of Bobby this year?
I hope not, because I absolutely adore the man. But I can see a world in which, similar to Sadio Mane, for the length of time that he's been here, that's a long time to work.
He makes the noises that he wants. The noises he makes so that he wants to stay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
he's only 30. He'll turn 31 in October. So we're, he isn't old. You might get 3-4 more years out of Bobby Firmino. Yeah, and he might want to stay. It's whether Liverpool want to keep him as well. That's the other option.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why Liverpool wouldn't want to. I think there's a scenario, and again, this happens with loads of players, and it happened to Mane, as you just pointed out there, where they have a couple of bad performances, or maybe a long run of bad performances, or injuries, and there's frustration that kind of grows within the fan base, and then before he goes, well, he's done then. He's like, that's the best of him. You're 13, you're dead in football, aren't you? Basically, that's the unwritten rule. Whereas I don't think it is the case with him. And you think the amount of football that he's played, particularly in the first couple of seasons under Jurgen Klopp, because we didn't have the squad depth that we had, we've literally ran him into the ground.
Yeah, he's an old 30,
so he's been running to the ground, but like what happened with Genie probably, and his final season he played every game, so like his performances were crap because he was running around 3 times a week because there was no one else with Curtis Jones and James Milner, I think. So I'm really intrigued to see what Bobby's role is this season. Now, obviously, Jota and Núñez can play down the middle. Salah can play down the middle if he needs. So there's rotation, there's availability there. So therefore, you get a better Firmino because he's actually had a break this summer. Is he going to start every game in the World Cup in December?
He's not even in the squad.
Exactly. So, is Roberto Firmino actually getting the rest of the first time in his Liverpool career? Probably. Well, does that mean we're going to get more out of him? Again, I bring it back to the 5 subs and the different options that we got up top. I don't think the pressure's on him, and because he's not a natural number 9 like a Núñez, but we'll just go back to being Bobby, just dropping a bit deeper, and the players around him can go up and score the goals.
He made 35 appearances last season. Obviously, he had injuries, but before that, he was always in the 40s or 50s. He's played 327 games for us, and like Ross says, a lot of that is the entire games. Like he played a lot of football. He is an old 30, I think that's fair to say. Like he's played a lot for us, especially early on when Jurgen arrives, and he's 17, 18, 54 games, 18, 19, 48 games, 19, 20, 52 games, even 20, 21, 48 games. Like he plays a lot, and the Genie one's a good one. Is that at some point someone at Liverpool made a decision, the best of him's gone now, and yet but he's still demanding X amount of money. Nah, let's not do that. And that's the decision. That's going to be maybe Roberto Firmino somewhere. I bet Jurgen would love to keep him, but the money somewhere, there's a decision to be made. Was like, we can't give him more money than he's on now. We just can't do it. It maybe that's like a James Milner thing where he takes less. But at the age of 30, 31, like I can't see a footy player doing that. He's still he's still got 4 years where he can make a lot more money before he leaves somewhere.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's really killed Arsenal over the last couple of years is giving players massive contracts into their 30s, and we
Manchester
know
United as well.
United as well, and like we know that Liverpool were reluctant to give Henderson that contract last year. Certainly, it wasn't a nailed-on thing. There, the noises coming out of the club, it certainly didn't come from absolutely nothing. They were hesitant to give him that big money into his 30s. I think they will be hesitant to give any player big money into their 30s, and we know there's a lot of players coming into their 30s, like Fabinho's, I think 30 next year. I think there's a couple of other players. You're 29, turning 30. You've obviously got Matip and a couple of older players in the squad. So we will have to look to, and we have started to sort of revamp that and go into that sort of younger mould. I think we'll continue to do that. Whether it's a case of he does a Milner and stays on reduced terms just because he loves it here, who knows? I don't think he necessarily deserves that based on his football ability or what he's given to the club, but might it be something that he has to do just to make it work? I'm not sure, but the way the players and the way Klopp talks about him, like I remember an interview with Klopp last year, and it changes the way you think about Firmino because it's so difficult to play in the role he does. And he said, basically when the ball comes into him, he's got defenders coming at him from every angle and he's trying to hold the ball up. And that's an incredibly difficult thing to do. And that's something that, we maybe haven't seen Jota too proficient at. He's quite good at the sort of fox in the box type thing and very good at winning aerial balls in the box. It'll certainly take Núñez a wee while to do that if he's being asked to do that or whether it's somewhere being changed. So, if we are changing the style to the more sort of Núñez, Jota style of play, you'd at least like Firmino there for another year to switch it up, to keep teams guessing until we've really sort of nailed that way of playing, I think.
Yeah. I think it also is down to his attitude as well and how he reacts to like a Núñez signing. If someone comes in, say your job, for example, for £64 million, let's just say, and like, what's he thinking then? He's like, is that, okay, someone's come to help me out and rotate so I don't have to play every game, every single week, or, is it competitive competition, or it doesn't strike me as the type of person that'll go, well, actually, I'm Liverpool's number 9. I want to play most games. If you bought someone else, then fine, fair enough. It's a new challenge for me, but I wouldn't. Same as Sadio Mane. If he decides I want a new challenge, I want to move on. With respect, shake his hand. Thanks for everything.
Okay, flip side then. What if these bids are genuine this summer? Because we don't. I mean,
no. Well, I wouldn't sell him because you're same situation is
too late, kind of thing.
It's too late to either get anyone else in, and if you're thinking, if you're just thinking about the money, then Liverpool have left themselves in a stupid position where they go, 40, 50 million pounds, okay, yeah, we will sell him. Again, at what cost? Jota's already injured. Nunez might take a bit of time to get up to speed. You're just leaving yourself short of another option, which is mad about the midfield thing because, I think the general consensus is Liverpool need another midfielder, but a lot of people saying sell Oxlade-Chamberlain. Well, which one is it? We need more midfielders. Or
I don't think it's more. I think it's a quality thing in midfield.
Yeah, no, we get that. But it's like you don't just sell someone and then go, okay, sound who's out there. Like you need to you need to plan these things. So I'd probably sell Oxlade-Chamberlain if someone else was coming in. That makes sense. I'd sell Roberto Firmino if another quality striker was coming in. But who's out there in the market? How difficult is it someone to go and get? How difficult is it someone to go and get of Firmino's qualities, as Andy says, who's willing to be a forward but not be the main goal scorer or the main threat? The team player. We called Bobby the system for about 4 or 5 years. Maybe that's changed, but he can change and he can develop as well.
Yeah, again, I think we'd all agree. Like the rumours of this summer, I'd be shocked. I mean, who knows? Footy's mad and stuff, but
and why would Juve pay 40, 50 million pounds?
Well, there was talk of 20, wasn't he?
Just get him next season on a free.
Yeah, maybe, I agree. I know I'm with you. I think this smacks to me more, and I don't know if you agree, of like Juve greasing the wheels. We do want you. By the way, we did make a bid for you last summer. Yeah. Oh, it's January. We can talk to you for nothing. We really wanted you last summer. Let's have a conversation.
Sorry, Andy. It's his agent.
Yeah, right. So fair enough. Yeah, get the wheels moving on a new contract or something. Something needs to happen somewhere for him. It doesn't. When a player goes into a last year of his contract, there's always going to be talk. Emre Can, they're going to sell Emre Can, never happened, he just left. Gini was the same the summer before, Liverpool are going to cash in. They're never going to let him go run his contract out. Yeah, exactly the same. Liverpool, they have shown a willingness. We've just named a few players there. They've been happy to let walk rather than say, what's it worth? Well, we can get 10 million for him now, or we can just play him for 50 games. And then we'll cross that bridge next summer. It feels like that's more where we're at with Bobby.
That's what I was thinking before Salah signed his contract. Basically, like if he's going to go for free next year, let's just absolutely run him into the ground, play him every single game. Charity Shield, League Cup, I don't care. Let's just try and win everything while we can, while we've got him. I think that's sort of the same with Firmino. Like it would shock me. I mean, Liverpool aren't the type of club that are going to have a plan in place, a 5-10 year plan with the finances, and they've got their squad set up for this season. Klopp's happy with it. The club's happy with it, and then they're going to see a potentially lucrative bid of 40-50 million. I don't think that's going to be forthcoming, by the way, for a 30-year-old in the last year of his contract. But even if it was to come, I still think it would be tempting, no doubt, to get a little bit of cash in. But I think they'd have the wherewithal to sort of say, no, actually, we're just going to leave that there and we're going to stick to our plan because we don't want to potentially mess up this season, and then we have to start thinking about something we weren't thinking about before, which is, as you say, how we're going to spend that 40-50 million, if indeed we are going to spend it.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But I think we're all pretty confident Roberto Firmino is Liverpool's number 9 for at least one more season, and maybe more. I could do with him, Sam. I really like the song, if nothing else. It'd be a shame to lose that one to the years gone by. We've lost a few players with good songs recently. We can't be doing it. But yeah, these reporting it to Tybo, and I think we'll keep an eye on it. I wouldn't be shocked if around January time something resurfaces about a free transfer and stuff. Like we started hearing with Gini a couple of Januaries ago now, yeah, but we'll wait and see on Roberto Firmino.
He's also been down the pecking order in conversation, isn't it? Because, all the chat was Sadio Mane for such a long time. And there was obviously the Salah saga, if you want to call it that. This is the first time I've actually heard Firmino's been talked about. I think Keita and Ox are in the same position, aren't they? Their contracts run out, and maybe Keita's going to be a conversation down the line. I'm not sure most people would give Ox a new one, but you just think of everything that Bobby's done, and you should give someone a contract for what they've done. It's what you're going to get out of them coming up. But it's just maybe he feels a bit like,
sort me out, lads, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. No, me.
And I say he's 30. He's only 30. He's only just about to turn 31. There's a lot more football in Roberto Firmino. We'll find out if the season after next. The season after where are we? We're in the new season. We're in the new season. Yeah. Next season we'll see where Roberto Firmino's playing, but I'm pretty certain this season he will be playing at Anfield.
Get yourself signed up for Redmen Plus today. Go to redmenplus.com. There is loads of benefits other than the incredible content that we produce week in, week out on the team that we all support. You can get 20% off merchandise. You can get access to a Discord server where it's Liverpool 24/7, 365. Get over there, redmenplus.com.